What the fuck, dude?
Because we're talking about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Onion Cast. Today
we have a special treat for you all.
A brand new segment we like to call Retroactively Better Written.
Did you want us all to say that at the same time?
1, 2, 3. Retroactively Better Written.
You guys are fucking weird. I'm Sam.
I'm Charles.
I'm Brett.
I'm River.
It's me, Carlos.
It's me,
Carlos. It's our intern, Carlos.
Our intern.
So the point of Retroactively Better Written is we rewrite something after we just watched it. Well, I mean, we're kind of rewriting something we didn't just watch and rewriting something that we did just watch, and what we're rewriting is episodes 7 and 8, and then we're gonna fucking make our own version of episode 9 of Star Wars. Ta-da! That's gonna get annoying. I'm gonna stop doing that. I took notes, at least for Force Awakens, which is a page and a half, and then I have 4 or 5 pages of notes for The Last Jedi.
We have more pages for Force Awakens, Last Jedi, because
we just watched
we were watching it while I was
yeah.
doing it, and then I was pulling from memory what I remember of The Force Awakens. And we kind of decided Force Awakens doesn't need that much of a rewrite.
Yeah, there's just some key moments.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just stuff that to make sense for our version of The Last Jedi.
Recharacterizations, fixing things for our continuity.
Yeah. For the record, this doesn't involve recasting or taking out. We tried to not take out.
Yeah,
We might have added characters.
Yeah, we added characters.
They're not like fan characters. These are characters that had already existed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we're just everything that Disney said is non-canon is canon.
Yeah, we're not.
Well, okay, so if everything is canon, then this universe doesn't make sense. So not everything is canon, but we are pulling from the EU.
From the legends, as Disney.
No,
calls
it's the EU. Look, I
It's
don't give a
the
shit what
EU.
Disney says. It's the EU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the European Union.
Don't worry about it.
We didn't pull from Germany. So how do we start it? Okay. The opening scene for The Force Awakens, with Poe talking to the elderly gentleman about the plans to find... there weren't plans, but the map to find Luke Skywalker, and Kylo Ren coming up, and Finn being on his first mission. All that stays the same.
The only thing that changes from that intro is Poe and Finn crash together.
What?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Poe getting captured and put on their spaceship, and then him escaping with Finn, and the whole "What's your name?" It's FN blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm gonna call you Finn, and then they crash on Jakku, and they land together. And the way Finn gets the jacket. The jacket is, he's like, you can't be walking around here looking like a stormtrooper, so we're going to take off your helmet, you look beautiful, and,
did we decide that Poe was gay or what?
The movie decided Poe was gay.
Yeah, the way it was written. And he leaves it down to, like, his Under Armour.
Yeah, the undersuit.
And gives him, like, the coat, because Poe has normal-ass clothes on. And then everyone... They just don't know where BB-8 is, because that has to be a thing for Rey.
Yeah.
And Rey's scavenger identity is intact. The only thing that we did change is she has powers that are, it's the Force, but she doesn't know it's the Force because she wasn't.
She just, she can like pull things to her and influence people a little bit.
The scene where she's trying to get meals or whatever, instead of like just snagging it, she like goes from a distance and Force pulls it off the table.
Yeah, she like makes it look like it. She makes it look like it rolled off, and then it rolls to her.
Yeah.
And then she finds BB-8 in the desert, and then she sees like some scavenger dude trying to take it, and then she cuts the netting around BB-8.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
So. She does what is it called, River?
The beast trick.
Beast trick.
Yeah, beast trick.
She beast tricks the thing to run off with the guy still on it, so he can't get. Am I not talking loud enough?
It's a little low.
I don't know what else I have to repeat. She does the beast trick.
No, you're fine. I'm just
you don't have to repeat anything.
Helps BB-8 get out of there. And to the audience, it's like, ooh, that's the Force. But she doesn't call it the Force. She doesn't know what it is yet.
She just, I have this weird ability.
Trick. Yeah. I've been able to do this since I was a
And
kid.
for all she knows, she just has an affinity with animals. She's like, it's okay, buddy, just fucking get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And with the food thing, she's just really lucky. That's just how she survived.
Well, no, with the food thing, she's like,
She knows she's doing it. She's holding out her hand.
Yeah.
it's my animal magnetism.
But we're doing that. So her Jedi mind trick against Daniel Craig as a stormtrooper.
Doesn't just come out of left
Yeah,
field.
it makes a lot more sense. Like, I know
James
people
Bond
have
would
said,
fucking
like,
that.
the Jedi mind trick is the easiest thing to learn. I'm not making fun of people who say that. I was trying
But
to
you
do
still
it.
need to have knowledge, or at
Yeah.
least some form
Yeah,
of
like-
understanding of the Force.
Like, she'll be like, it works on animals. Maybe it works on, that. Maybe it works on clone trooper or stormtroopers.
And also, we said when they... I'm getting a little ahead. Do we want to...
I kind of want to do it in order.
Okay, yeah. So, Poe sends a distress signal.
Right.
Yes, he sends a distress signal. Like, we'll say he has some sort of watch or
Just a
something.
beep, boop, beep, beep.
Or he has BB-8 send it. He has
Yeah,
BB-8.
he finds
Yeah.
BB-8.
No, wait, because...
Because BB-8's with Ray.
Yes. So
Well, they-
That's why he has to find
we
BB-8.
have to find BB-8.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
essentially what he does with Poe.
Yeah.
He goes like, what the hell is a BB-8? And he's like, it's my little robot friend.
It's my little buddy.
He's his little ball. I'm pretty sure he landed here.
Oh, also...
Because he sends BB-8 by himself.
Yeah, a slight redesign of BB-8 has a track along the...
I mean,
I'll have you two dispute that. I can go either way.
yeah, I mean, because it's magnetic, right? So I don't think it's a...
I just
thing
think
that
from,
needs to
from a
happen.
design standpoint, it's just a little confusing on how it can stay in place while the other part rolls.
I'm gonna be real with you. R2-D2 kind of has a similar complaint because, like, his little arm things kind of resemble wheels, but then he can hover with them.
No, those are jet boosters that pop out of the side.
Still, it looks weird. Doesn't it not look weird? They just come out of nowhere.
No, they're built in.
Yeah, they
No, they're
come
bu-
out of the
they're
side.
bu-
Yeah.
I know, but don't they just pop out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no
It's
one,
like- it's like an
no
Iron
one
Man
says
suit.
anything before it?
It's like an Iron Man suit. It
I
just
know.
pops
What
up.
I'm saying is it just happens.
Yeah. It pretty much...
But,
It's in Attack of the Clones, and it just happens.
yeah, that was all... But, okay, I forgot about that. But also, like, with BB, that's a direct design thing. Not like side designs, like the actual construction of the robot.
I know. I just don't. I don't see it. I personally don't see a problem with
Yeah,
it.
neither do
I think my thing was I hadn't seen Last Jedi until today, so I didn't know it was magnetic. I thought it was just like, oh, that's just how he works. Like there was no
Yeah.
explanation to it.
Let's just keep BB-8 the same.
Yeah, we can talk about BB-8 later.
Because I mean,
Because that's a little nitpicky.
Like, if we're not recasting, I should at least say the designs are the same.
And I liked all the blaster designs. I know that.
Anyways,
They all look cool.
So they're like, oh, we gotta find BB-8. So they kind of just like, the easiest hint is to go for fucking civilization, and then they have that whole scene where Finn runs for water, and he drinks that giant large animal's bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos is nodding at me like he knows what I'm talking about.
Carlos knows.
And Poe's like, dude, come on, that's disgusting.
That's a trough.
Have you never been out of like your ship before?
Like, no.
Yeah, and then we get backstory of Finn like, no, my first mission was yesterday, my friend died. And he's like, oh, geez, I'm sorry, I know.
And Finn's still in shock.
And
because
Poe's
of
kind
it.
of like, I know how that feels. Like, I work for the Resistance. And he's like, what? The Resistance is like...
Well, no, because he already
Oh,
knows.
yeah,
he's
I
in
knew
the
that. Never mind, my
Yeah.
bad. And he goes like, yeah, I know what it's like to lose someone, just, you know.
It happens. You gotta get over
And
it.
now I lost my droid, and we have to go find him. Meanwhile, fucking Rey's running around with BB-8. And the stormtroopers, you know, I guess activate the tracking on the ship they stole, and they know it landed on it, so they're looking for their traitor and the resistance man and the droid. Mainly the droid. And we'll
'Cause
say...
the droid has the map. Right?
Yeah, we'll say Phasma's also looking with them, because we're changing Phasma a little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we're changing Phasma a lot.
We're making Phasma more prevalent.
We're making her an important character.
Yeah.
She's
She's more loyal to Kylo Ren than the First
Yeah.
Order. And also, it's not. We
She's
don't
like his personal
We don't
bodyguard
call
and
it the
shit.
First Order. We call it the Order because they're bringing order to
they're
the
like
universe.
they're hardly the first.
Yeah.
They're direct descendants of the Empire.
They're remnants.
Yeah, it's the remnants of the Empire. So it's like they're the First Order is a misnomer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they are the Order, not the First Order. And so Phasma is like, we'll say Phasma's like a very good tracker of both droid and like humanoid.
Maybe she was a bounty hunter at one point.
Let's not make her too much like Boba Fett. So
Are we gonna give it up for Boba Fett?
no, please stop. It's getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Shout out to Red Letter Media.
We're gonna at them at them.
We're gonna at them with this?
Yeah, we're gonna at them
I'm
with a
actually gonna
link.
do that with
Dude,
them
for
and
real, we're gonna
Mark.
at like
Yeah.
everybody with this.
And then we're gonna at Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams. Hey, listen up. No, I'm kidding.
So should I post like the first version of episode 1 of our podcast and then this one?
No.
Still in order.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It's
This is
cool.
this is like
This is episode 6.
this is this. I'm saying this is like a separate like show. So instead of just our regular podcast, this is like a separate thing.
Whatever.
I introduced it as just another segment.
We
Well,
can
'cause-
write that out though.
Yeah, we can edit that.
Not
We can
edit it.
write that out.
Not edit it out, but like we can go back on that.
Okay.
I'm going back on that now.
Oh my god. Any whoozin. Where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, so the stormtroopers come, and somewhere in the mess, Rey meets at least Finn, because I had this thing where like, they see the stormtroopers coming, and Finn like grabs Rey by the hand to like get her away from the stormtroopers and all that, and like mainly get himself away. And like at first Rey's like, let go of me and all that, and then when they stop, like to hide again, like they're still holding on to their hands instead of like a romantic one. She can feel Finn scared, like he's shaking like crazy, and she's like, "Are they after you?" And he's like, "I think they are." And then like when she asks why, he goes like in his head, he's like, "Don't see her, stormtrooper. I'm part of the resistance, and you had my droid, and now I don't know where my droid is, and there's secrets, and I'm scared." And
No, I'm thinking, don't see your stormtrooper. Don't see your stormtrooper. I'm a stormtrooper.
I'm a clone trooper. No, I'm a droid. And Poe's like running away with BB-8 because he's like, "Oh, I found you, BB-8." And he's like, "All right, but I can't leave Finn. Like he's a cool guy."
He's my friend. He helped me escape.
Yeah, and he has my coat. And
Here's my coat. Here's my jacket. That's my favorite jacket.
And then
Love that jacket.
And is that when your boy lands?
No, because so Poe sends the
look,
distress
they're
signal.
not in a way that they can send a distress signal yet.
No,
Okay.
But like the reason why Finn personally is scared is because he did see Phasma, and he knows who Phasma is, and he's scared.
and Phasma knows who he is.
And he's like, because she saw Finn, but when they run away, he's like, they're not after me. Like he's looking around, like no stormtrooper went after him, and he's like, they must be looking for the droid. And then he goes like, we got to go back for my friend Poe. And then she's just like, who's Poe? He's like, oh, she's also part of the resistance. He saved me recently, and I need to pay him the debt back. Also, the droid's important.
Also the droid.
Also the droid.
Like you saw how goofy Finn is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's a goofy
he doesn't
motherfucker.
actually know the droid's important.
Yeah.
So they kind of circle around. It's like, don't worry. Like Rey's like, don't worry. I know this place like the back of my hand. And so they sneak around, and these stormtroopers are like stupid. And they're not stupid, but they're like reckless, and they're knocking shit down to like, are they in here? And like knocking down doors and all that.
They're being stormtroopers.
Yeah, they're stormy. They're trooping on people.
we did it.
And so they kind of like they sneak around, and they finally find Poe, and all
Poe's like,
that.
"Hey."
And he's like, "Oh, you're still here." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to give you back your jacket." Like he's trying to play it off as being cool. And he's like, "Don't worry, keep it. It looks good on you." And then they're gay or something. And then they're like, "Okay, but we need to like get out of here." And then Rey's like, "Oh, will you take me with you to the Resistance? I've always wanted to get off this planet." And then
they're like, all right.
well, no, like at first Poe's kind of like, I don't know. And then like Finn just kind of like pulls him onto the side. He's like, you're taking an ex-stormtrooper to, the Resistance. Why can't we take another one? He's like, all right, fine, but I have no way to get off this planet.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna say Finn takes Poe to the side. I was like, dude, she's a total babe.
Do you know who that is? That's Daisy Ridley. And then
I'm glad you didn't go that route.
yeah, and he's just like, fine, BB-8, tell them, send out a signal to the Resistance and tell them that, I need an evac for 1 droid and 3 people. And then the closest person to get this is Han Solo. And we wrote it so he didn't go back to being a smuggler.
He's still a general.
Yeah, he's still a general,
Yeah, he's a general
in the Resistance.
To stay to also like stay closer to Leia.
And
Yeah.
he just got used to military life. Plus, he was already in the military at one point, so he's like, you know what? Clearly, this is my
obviously
calling.
calling me. Yeah.
What are my hit points?
A D8.
Oh yeah, he's doing a D&D.
D8 plus con modifier.
You need to do it. You need to do it for a level 3.
This is. I'm sorry. That little interlude was just.
Yeah,
funny.
that took us away. He's filling out a D&D thing right now for D&D later.
I'm a tiefling.
So,
Another one.
So we'll say.
So not only is Han there, but he has the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
like,
he
he
still
brings
has-
the
Are
Millennium
we
He still
going
has
with
the
midlife
Falcon.
crisis?
No, we're not.
No.
Okay.
That's too goofy.
Okay, I had an idea where Han just went through a midlife crisis and like gave it a hot rod paint job.
Like,
Because our biggest complaint is they weren't listening to the fans, and that'd be the ultimate middle finger to the fans to redesign the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
like maybe there's like he paints like he paints like a kill count on the side.
Or a resistance marker on it.
Yeah, like the
Oh no, I like the kill count though.
yeah.
He'd totally be the guy to have
Yeah.
a kill
Yeah,
count.
you would.
He'd be like, Chewie, how many people did we mark? Or he'd be like on the wheel.
Okay, maybe
Because that's readily available for him to do that.
because I was thinking he just etches it into the fucking
Or
window.
it's just on his coat.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the D8's
He's
max
got like
plus
a
2.
TIE fighter here with like
So you
a
have
number.
10.
Yeah.
And then you add the rest.
That'd be rad.
That's your first one.
And then there's like
No,
there's like
your
2
6
dreadnought
plus
ones.
16.
Yeah.
That'd be
Then
sick.
another one.
Yeah, that would be sick. And then when
We
you
just
first see him,
geeked out like that'd be sick.
and then when you first see him, he's like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Or
And then-
no,
What?
the best fucking one. On the back, it's 1 Death Star.
It's a Death
It's a Death Star.
Yes!
With just a 1 under
Write
it.
that down because we're gonna. Well, we're recording.
We're
it.
saying it.
I know we're recording it. What the fuck am I
It's
doing?
because I have a fucking list right here.
Yeah.
I like how we just made him like battle hardened.
He is.
Yeah,
maybe he's
he
got
is.
like a scar somewhere.
Yeah. Well, no, not a,
Well, 'cause
not,
he's
not a
been-
facial scar.
Okay.
10 to 16.
Like he's
I
missing
know,
he's
and
missing
I
his
thought-
middle finger.
Because he was flipping someone off.
He was.
Yeah,
He went back to Tatooine and flipped off Jabba, but Jabba just fucking
We
cut it
sound
off.
like a bunch of dumbasses right now. Anyways.
We are a bunch of dumbasses, but we're
we
doing
are.
a better job than.
Yeah,
anyways,
I guess. Anyways, yeah.
Like, I don't want to. I feel like they put their. Like, I feel like they tried.
It's a lot of Disney being like, no, it needs to be this. It needs to be this. It needs to be
Yeah.
that.
Why does Disney sound like George Lucas?
Yeah, you almost gave him the George Lucas
I almost
voice.
did. I almost did.
I'd never say anything like that. That was all cool.
I'm sorry, George Lucas.
Yeah. But yeah, Han goes to pick him up and he's like, he exits the Falcon with Chewie and he was like, I thought I only sent 1 man and 1 droid. And he's like, yeah, but this guy's got this guy's got
He's got the stuff. He's got
the order, he's got the secret of the order. Like, he knows their secrets.
And Han would recognize a military getup immediately.
Yeah.
He recognizes like
Well,
the
no,
undersuit.
we said that, yeah, the undersuit, because we
Yeah,
said he
that's
got
what
rid
I
of
mean.
the armor.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, okay. And then Ray will be like, I thought you said you were in the Resistance. He's like, I was a spy. And then he's like, and who's this? And he's like, oh,
A
she,
mechanic.
well, no, let's say, sorry to backpedal, but when they're avoiding Phasma and the gang, she does some
forced
things.
trickery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes like, I can just do that. And he's like,
She causes a stampede of like
yeah.
of the
animals.
giant fart monsters.
Yeah.
The stampede of the giant fart monster.
I forget what those things are called.
And then also like she also shows up for mechanical prowess and like causes an engine to
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like
Call
just
it smoke.
it's
Just general tricks.
Her abilities just. We make it so that they're not just coming out of left field when she saves the fucking day with her
Yeah.
abilities.
we're setting
So-
things up.
The Phasma sees like the Falcon, whatever the fuck, flying off, and then she's like, "Everyone, to your fighters!" And then one fighter just isn't fucking working because
Yeah,
Ray
'cause-
fucked with
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
'cause
Ray
they fucked
fucked
with it.
Yeah.
And then like Finn's like looking out the window like, what happened there? And then like Ray just has like the fucking.
She has like a fucking like
It's
the
just
power
like,
supply. or
Why do you
something?
think I circumnavigated us to like the ships? Because they landed like right outside that small town.
Yeah.
And then you have that whole Crystal Caves escape scene.
Except it's better lit this time, so you can see how much work the modelers put in. And it looks beautiful.
Yeah. Because we were bitter about that.
I was very bitter.
And
I was too.
We decided that so the pilot of this trinity of heroes is Poe. Like, he's the pilot.
Yeah.
And
not that Rey can't fly ships, but
yeah.
Poe is the pilot. And also
it's the same thing with Luke. Luke isn't known to be a pilot, but Han is.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
But we made it so her role, unless she is the one flying, is the engineer, because she's taken so much time scavenging that
she knows machines.
Yeah, they show how many days she's been on Jakku, and it's like she would totally have grown curious over what she's taking out of giant ships.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And been like, this part must have been this, or this must have held fuel.
And she also needed to know what they were in order to sell them for food.
Yeah, or been like, this is worth this many credits, and then it was like, this is worth shitless.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe she wouldn't know the name, but she'd know, that looks like this one item I found. So that's probably what it does.
This one doodad connects to this other dingly-doo.
Yeah. So during the escape scene, we figured, the TIE fighters, fuck up the Millennium Falcon a little bit. And so Han's flying, because it's his fucking ship. Of course he's flying. And, so...
Poe, Finn, and Chewie are handling shooting.
And so Rey's like, what the fuck can I do? And so she's like, go fix that. And she goes and fixes it. And she's like, fucking saves the day, because it was the hyperdrive was malfunctioning. They needed to go to hyperspace.
Wasn't that a thing in Force Awakens anyways? Didn't they have to repair something? Because they repaired something.
Yeah.
Because the Falcon was fucked up, but that's because it was
a compressor or something.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, we can establish that Finn can handle a gunner position, because in their escape with the TIE fighter, he was shooting anyone following him. And he was taking Poe's advice. So he's on the comm link with Poe, and Poe's like, if they're doing that, then shoot something around them to make a rock fall on them or something, or lead them. He's like, what does that mean? Fucking
shoot where they're going to be.
Yeah, shoot where they're going to be, and then it calls back to his training, because
it worked. Escape that.
And one change that I know we want to make is Finn is most definitely Force sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do we want to go into his descent right now? Like where he descends from?
Not really. I'm just moving down the list.
Oh, okay.
We save that for our next episode.
We're still
It's barely 23 minutes.
Yeah, we're actually making good
Already
time.
been 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow. And we're about 20 minutes into the movie.
This is only Force Awakens, too.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be longer for Last Jedi.
Oh, most definitely. I'm trying to figure out
the way you said that was
what
like,
the next thing is.
Most definitely.
Wait, what was the next scene?
Well, the next scene is them getting off the planet, and then
they fucking meet up with Han.
Yeah, no, they've met up with Han.
No, in the movie, in the actual movie.
Yeah, and because they're
we
with Han.
never came up with a replacement for that scene.
No, we did. Yes, we
did. So
did.
they go to the jungle planet to escape from the First Order,
which I named Vihal. Because we couldn't think of one right off the top of our head. And I wasn't going to say fucking Dagobah or whatever, where Yoda was.
Dagobah was a slamp.
Slamp. Slimes and swamps.
But yeah, Phasma. So Han is like, oh yeah, there's an old Republic, base that we can probably jury rig with Rey's skills to send out a signal to Leia that, First Order's on Jakku, and I was able to get you guys out on time. And Phasma also makes the same deduction. Oh, our computers show that there is an old Republic base on Vihal. That's probably where they're going next. That's the closest option they have. And we did damage to the Falcon. They have to land soon. Because Han Solo is known, so his Falcon would be known and Chewie would be known. Mm-hmm. And we've discussed that there is a fight on the Vihal to make Phasma look, intimidating.
Right.
Like
she does shit.
She's
on
been
Vihal.
able to find us.
She's actually useful.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'll say I wouldn't give her a weapon yet, but she does have a rifle of sorts, and
she has that.
She's
shooting. A pretty good shot.
She's shooting at them and purposely missing them to scare them, and
because they want to take them alive.
Yeah, and Poe and like Finn's like, she is fucking with us. There is no way, like she doesn't like. This is Star Wars. He's not gonna say fucking with us, but he's like, she's
toying with us.
Yeah, she's toying with us.
Like I know who she is.
I know
she's not that bad a
she
shot.
does not miss this much.
I've seen her on the shooting range.
Or yeah, he's seen her in
trapped
action.
us.
If anything, like he saw a video or something during training, or like,
He's
seen her fight.
He'd be like mopping the floor at the shooting range while she's in there.
Because he's a fucking janitor.
Yeah.
I'd like to think he's still doing that, but it's still Stormtrooper armor.
Yeah, he's still in armor.
So there's like no point for him to be armored.
You got to maintain the grooming standards.
And then like, as soon as they know it, like the base is almost like they're able to send out the signal, but like the base is pretty much gonna get flooded with stormtroopers, and they're like, I just don't know how we're gonna get out of here. And then Han's just like, I used to be a smuggler. I can get us out. And then that's how they get out of that planet. He smuggles
so do they have
them.
to leave the Millennium Falcon behind, or
No.
They somehow, because like I said, they like land in a bunch of like in a treed area, in the brush, so
and hide the Falcon.
Yeah. And then
they go to the base.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Jesus,
Sounded like a
Christ.
frog. You got a frog in your throat?
There's a frog in the Forest Planet.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm making the
A
Adam
giant
noises.
frog eats some stormtroopers.
Oh my god!
Fuck yeah, it does.
And
Yeah.
Phasma
Oh
kills
no,
it.
what is it that Han was capturing at one point with his crew that got eaten alive?
The tentacle thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, that thing's on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Phasma's the one to kill it.
Yeah.
And then like Han's just like, did she just kill that? And he's like, yeah. What the? Do you think I was just blowing hot air? She doesn't miss.
Han's like, I don't miss either.
I was like, I want to shoot her.
Yeah, he just turns the Falcon and shoots her fast. We made her do more things, but now she's gone.
No, she's dead.
No, she survives. And they go.
Han still shoots her.
Yeah,
I always shoot first.
we'll say like
There's like a standoff.
No,
Okay.
right at the end they're shooting at the Falcon as they're like boarding it.
And Han's like on the boarding line.
He's like, no.
Okay,
This
sorry,
is for Rey to show that she does have the Force.
Oh, okay.
And Han sees her like fucking get
Dude,
mad or
big
upset
old-
or
yeah.
scream or something, and then like a rock falls and like kills some stormtroopers. And then Han's just like, get in my ship. And then like
he knows what the Force is.
He like
just
grabs
like-
her by the collar and pulls her in.
Yeah, like get in here. And then he's just like, what was that? And he's expecting her to say, oh, this is the Force. And he's like, I don't know, it's just something I've always been able to do. He's like, you mean the Force? And then she's like, I don't know. And he's like, I'm pretty sure that's the Force, but I know someone who can confirm this. And then that's why they go to Maz's planet.
Takudana?
Yeah, whatever River just said.
Make sure I'm getting this right.
For the record, like our two authorities on Star Wars shit is Charles and River.
Playing a shit
You
ton
like
of
the
Star Wars
movies.
as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you like the clone troopers and the military
fucking
aspects.
love the clone troopers.
Clone Commandos.
Hell yeah, dude. Up top.
He got you. A high five this time, not a fist bump. But yeah, before we established that Rey had the Force, like was able to use the Force, I was complaining, because that's what it was, about her just being able to use the mind trick with no knowledge of the
Yeah,
Force.
but that's how she does the beast trick to cause the stampede.
Yeah, but also like now Maz, whoever, how you pronounce it,
Maz Kanata.
Maz, but it's spelled M-A-Z.
Dude,
It's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. Yeah.
fuck, I just had it written.
But Maz tells her about the Force.
It has the thing on it. So it's Maz.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got
Umlaut.
it's the what is it called?
Umlaut.
Umlaut. Yeah. So, yeah, Maz confirms like that's what it is. She's using the Force, and Maz.
She's using the
planet.
Force.
And then
that
we're
bar.
keeping the scene where like Rey gets the
I wanna make sure
lightsaber.
It is Takudana, just to be sure.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
I know, but
River wants to confirm it for himself.
Yeah. So like Maz shows Rey to the saber, and Rey touches it, and what was it?
She begins to hear all the voices, and instead of freaking out and running away, you alright?
yeah.
She drops it, and then everyone asks what happened, and then she says she heard all these sounds from it, and then Maz explains where she got the fucking lightsaber.
Oh, does she not in Force Awakens?
No, she does not explain where she got it.
Where did she get it?
She says that's a story for another time.
Oh, fuck off.
God.
Anyways,
You guys can't see, but I'm
face palming.
No,
He's jerking.
I'm jerking off.
He's jerking himself off.
I'm jerking off.
And
I'm doing the whole thing where you jerk off the air.
Maz confirms that this is the Force.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
And then
the
order comes and ruins the day.
They're just a nuisance, not even like an
Yeah.
It is an
Well,
intro
that's how it
ground,
is
but they
in
don't
the fucking movie.
And then you have the whole scene with fucking FN2199. 2199.
Sorry.
You're saying fins.
I know.
I'm saying TR8Rs.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Yeah, you have the traitor scene and him with the lightsaber.
Wait, that's on the same planet?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even
they
fucking
blow
know
up
that.
Maz's bar.
Yeah, because
Wow.
Han is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can just have it as like Phasma tracked them to that planet. Like they never actually lost Phasma.
Are we
then-
Are we gonna say who she heard yet, or?
Yeah, she heard the voice.
No, but, okay. So she just heard voices. That's all we know. It's just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
whispery.
Key Star Wars fans will know it was both of Obi-Wan's actors and Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the first steps.
The people who have held the saber at least at some point of their life.
That thing is a fucking relic.
Well, wouldn't they have heard? Wouldn't she have heard Luke's too? Because Luke wielded that saber.
she didn't, Brett.
Okay.
Well, like Luke's not dead yet, so.
Yeah.
And he's supposed. Well, no, wait, never mind. I was gonna say he supposedly cut himself off from the Force, but in our version he doesn't do that.
Yeah, because it's fucking stupid.
Anyways, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, so they're attacking. Kylo Ren has a bit of a standoff with Rey instead of her saber because that's what Finn is wielding right now against TR-8R. She shoots at him. Doesn't
I thought
work.
she would have the pole thing. Her
No.
staff.
Well, what good's that going to do against a fucking laser sword?
I don't know. What is gonna shooting at a guy that can freeze bullets? Freeze laser bolts.
Well, he just said it doesn't work. She shoots at him, but it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
She still gets kidnapped, the very same, because no one's there to teach her anything about the Force. We'll even say she tries to force him away like she has been to other things, and he just goes like,
doesn't
nope,
work. Yeah.
fuck you.
He balls it up.
Just raises his head.
And then, so Poe never gets kidnapped.
Does Poe get kidnapped in Force Awakens?
Yes.
Yeah. At the
Because there's a whole scene of him trying to like torture Poe, and then Poe says some snarky stuff at him. Instead, we'll just have him say snarky stuff on the battlefield. Pretty much happens all the same.
Yeah,
with
that
Rey.
scene pretty
She
much
gets
happens
caught,
the same.
tortured. She doesn't. She says the whole thing about like Kylo Ren not being as powerful as he is. He gets frustrated, and then instead of the fucking scene where he throws a tantrum and destroys the onboard computer, even though I like those two stormtroopers that go like
We
they
can
stop
keep
each
those
other and go like,
stormtroopers, though.
yeah, okay. So this is what.
When
and
you
I,
see the training
I like
troopers, like,
doing
come
this
out.
instead. Yeah, he goes into train like he walks by two stormtroopers and he goes like, if Hux needs me, I'm in training. And he like goes to a training thing, and what he's training against are Grievous's bodyguards.
Magna droids.
the Magna droids.
Magna droids. Sorry, I know what they look like. I don't know the names of things.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're fart sticks.
Anyways, he's fighting those, and he's just like he's kicking the shit out of them. And then the two guys hear him
we
just
have
like
the two
wailing on him, and they're like, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
They
Good idea.
turn away.
Hux needs him, but he doesn't need Hux.
He doesn't need hugs.
He doesn't need Hugs.
Come on, let's go guard the new sector.
Let's go guard Sector 5.
Like he's like, "Bring me Kylo Ren," and then like he's like,
yes, General.
"Yes, sir." And then he leaves, and then he's like, "Are you?" He's training right now. I know. Let's just keep walking. And then
Let's say we couldn't find him.
And then he's like, let's say, whatever. Let's just take our time. All that happens. She's able to get out. Or she's at least able to get out of her...
The bindings.
yeah, the bindings. She still ends up on Starkiller Base, though, because that's where they all have to meet. They found information for Starkiller Base on Maz's planet, right? How do they know that's Star... Oh, the thing happens on Starkiller Base.
Does
Like, it shows up and blows up 5 planets.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
it
It was
from
in the
Maz's
atmosphere.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the record, we totally wrote out the part of Finn's character where he's trying to leave the Resistance.
That was a part.
Yeah, he wanted.
He tried to hire 2 guys to get him out at the bar.
It's fucking dumb.
He was kind of a coward the whole time.
Finn was a coward.
Well, where was he gonna go?
To the other side of the universe.
He was gonna join with what the hell is his name?
It doesn't matter because he doesn't exist in our continuity.
And plus, that guy with the red, where he was talking to,
Yeah.
he actually had one of the clones with him.
Yeah, he did.
Wait,
Anyways.
What?
Oh my god.
Continue. I'll explain later.
Anyways.
You heard clones and your dick got hard.
It wiggled.
You also wooded.
Because it was confusing.
I know.
I would because I heard clones.
And now I'm wooding because I forgot. Starkiller Base.
So how did they get on Starkiller Base?
Well, they know that Starkiller Base happened because it just blew up 5 planets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so Ren's destroyer, or whatever he's on, is in that area.
Yeah, Ren's ship is going to
and
Starkiller
Rey
Base.
is on there too.
But Finn, Poe, and Han and Chewie all get on the Falcon, and they have the idea, and they're like, "This is just a bigger Death Star. Let's just do what Luke did." Mm-hmm. And then he even turns to Finn, and is like, "Have you been on this before?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do they have an exhaust port?" "Yes." And
1 meter wide.
yeah, no, and he's like,
the whole thing's bigger, but the exhaust port is small.
and then Leia's like, "How about instead of causing a whole war around it, because they can just boot it up and fire it again, let's just quietly infiltrate."
A strike force.
Yes. And then she sends, Han, Poe, Finn, Chewie to go do it. And they realize,
Finn feels
because we need to bring our boy back. How would she know Ren's going there?
Oh, she sees this fucking ship. She sees the thing that they're in orbit around it. So she's like, "That seems bad. I need to go to stop that."
I know, but how does she know Ren is on Starkiller Base?
Because she was on the ship and she saw him. She was sneaking around and she saw him go down.
How does Leia?
Oh! Leia?
Through the Force.
Yeah, she senses it.
Okay. So we'll have some line dropped that Luke has at least been teaching her how to sense people.
Yeah.
But that was she subconsciously knew how to do that because she sensed Luke.
Okay. Yeah, but to hone in on it.
Oh, to hone it, yeah. And I was gonna say same thing with Finn. Finn subconsciously realizes. Hey,
yeah, but he doesn't know that's Ren.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He's just like someone familiar is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before they go off, Leia stops Han and says,
"Oh yeah.
Even if you can't blow up the base, I want you to bring our son back." And he goes we'll say Han promises to bring their boy back, and it kind of plays out the same, except Phasma corners them, and then we get a little hint that Finn can use the Force by kind of pushing her back into the base, and when he does, her gun leaves her hand, and Han quickly grabs it. Chewie also has his gun, and Finn is just well, motherfucker. And then
who's just a janitor now?
And then they have the whole, do they have a trash compactor on here?
They do.
Yeah, they do. And then they figure out where the weak spot is, and then they go down to it as normal, and we'll say Rey kind of meets them halfway and goes with them.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Wait, do they have other soldiers with them? Is it just them?
It's just
them. It's just a strike force, so they can quickly get in and out.
Okay.
And
it's all about that infiltration.
2 stormtroopers are following behind Kylo Ren.
It's a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. I'm sorry, I had to.
And I'm trying to build up an emotional.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
2 stormtroopers are following Kylo Ren, and they meet each other in the same area, same as the movie, and fucking Chewie, Rey, and Finn and Poe are pointing guns. The stormtroopers are pointing guns, and Han Solo goes lower your weapons.
That's my son.
Yeah, and everyone's confused, but they do it. Except Chewie just knows to do it because he knows who Kylo Ren is too.
Right.
And then
that was the
That was
weakest
horrible.
fucking Chewie I've ever done. Sorry.
Dude.
Oh, that was
I'm sorry. I know you're doing things. Sorry.
And then Kylo Ren could easily just tell him to shoot. And he goes, you guys also lower your guns. I'm going to talk to my father.
It's on that bridge scene where they're both walking.
Yes.
Oh.
And, like, Finn just goes like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And it's just like, don't worry. I've seen my friend talk down his dad. Like this.
Do we want to have him like go? You have a job to do. Go do it. Or something like that.
No.
No.
Just because...
Because don't they go in there to set up a bomb?
Yes,
Yeah.
but the bombs were already set when they walked
Oh, okay.
in. Yeah. And, you know, they talk and everything, and they have, like, deep conversation. Is like, Kylo Ren is just like, I feel like I'm being split. I don't know what to do. And then, like, Han is just like,
Come home.
yeah, come home. And then he's just like, Kylo Ren says, I need to destroy the past. And then Han, like, puts his hand on his shoulder and he goes like, will that bring you home? And then he says, will that bring you home to your mother? And he activates his lightsaber, stabbing Han. And like, as he drops down, you know, that shaft, he says, yes. But it's said in such a tone with an expression that it's
Of sadness.
no.
No.
Anger.
Anger that he's gonna go for Leia, not to Leia. And Chewie sees that and like freaks
Goes
the fuck
off.
out and shoots. Like at first he sees Ben look up at him because he hears like Chewie roar at him, and Chewie, when he like stops his roar and points the gun at Ben, it flashes to like Kid Ben, like looking up at Chewie, and then it flashes back to Kylo Ren.
Oh yeah.
And then he shoots at him, jumps down from his ledge to charge at Ben again. And, you know, Finn, Rey, and Poe, like, immediately start shooting at the stormtroopers and like, kind of knock them out. Kill them.
Come on, guys, our armor's better.
This is war.
This is Pokemon.
Do
And
we have-
Chewie's charging at Ben, and again, he sees Kid Ben pointing at him like, Uncle Chewie! And then it flashes to, like, Kylo Ren going, kill him! And it's, like, he tears
cry.
off Stormtrooper's arms,
Damn.
and, like, Kylo Ren is wounded, so he's running away, and Rey gives chase to him, and Finn backs him up, and then that's pretty much the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good emotional.
I didn't really mention, but fucking Finn totally stole
The shock
Trader's shock baton
ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
from him, and like has just kind of been keeping it on him.
Like he just picked it up while escaping from Maz's planet.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of, because in there's a book or something that mentions that he had, you know, a camaraderie with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, I kind of just killed my own friend after I saw my other friend die a day ago. I'm gonna hold on to one thing from one of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's not as goofy when fighting the stormtroopers.
No.
Because
No.
in the Force Awakens, he's like, whoa, this is fun. It's like, okay, but then you were like,
You were
yeah,
terrified of combat a minute ago.
yeah. These are people you served with.
yeah,
a day ago.
he would be a little more like, you know, it's not something he doesn't want to do this, but if it's them or him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Finn chases after Rey, who's chasing after Kylo Ren, and as Rey is approaching Kylo Ren in the woods, he goes, "You're nothing to me," and like pushes her away, and Finn following up on him, like fucking wields the shock baton, and then Kylo Ren does the traitor, and then like because he also says that in Force Awakens, and
Yeah.
wields his lightsaber, and like how it was done in.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, well, yeah, but in the earlier scene at Moss's place, where he was kind of tying with where the TR-8R was
ball.
like kind of
Like
keeping
spinning
him
around.
on edge.
Yeah. That's how he's kind of doing.
Kylo Ren, or god damn it, Finn,
Finn.
is replicating TR-8R's like moves exactly how he was doing it, and he's kind of matching Kylo Ren, but Kylo Ren's still kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
dude. I'm not even trying.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's not trying. He's just toying with him.
And in like the corner of Kylo Ren's eyes, he starts seeing like this blue, lightish. It's really not taking shape, but it's trying
It's
to
a
take
blob.
shape yet. And he thinks it's just like his mind wandering in this fight, so he keeps hitting the part where Chewie blasted him to like keep his concentration up, and he ends up wounding Finn, or at least knocking the shock baton out of Finn's hands. And then Rey gets up and like Force pulls Anakin's lightsaber towards her.
Yeah.
Because she took it from Maz. And then she starts fighting Kylo Ren almost to the same vein that Finn has been doing. Mm-hmm. And then Finn goes back for a shock baton, and it's Finn and Rey versus Kylo Ren. And he can't even, he has to use both his hands on his, blade to keep himself balanced and to make sure he doesn't get overpowered. So he can't even hit the thing anymore, and he's getting distracted. And in one instance, that blue light flashes and it blinds Ren for a second, and then Rey cuts him in the face, and Finn hits him in the torso with the shock baton.
Knocks him away.
And then because Starkiller Base is ramping up its thing again, or it's blowing up,
blown
so
up,
the ground is shaking. It's just leave him, and Finn kind of pulls Rey to get out of there.
Right. And we're definitely up in the romance between Rey and Finn, right?
We can.
Well, it's not going to be a full blown thing, but there's definitely way more romantic undertones.
Charles wants a romance between Finn and Rey. Brett wants a romance between Finn and Poe. I don't know. It can go either way. By the way, we're writing this.
I come in. I want Kylo Ren and Rey. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
I can see why.
It's not romantic, but it's
that brotherhood of bonding.
Guys, we are almost done.
Okay, let's finish.
It's a very close friendship.
Anyways,
at least.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Carlos.
Kylo Ren.
He agrees. Carlos agrees.
Kylo Ren and Poe.
Oh God.
You want those romances? Why not just have all three?
That's
what I was saying. Ray has two hands. Finn has two hands.
Poe has two hands.
Yeah, they can
be
just
a
hold
romantic
hands.
triangle.
Anyways, they all meet together back with now General Leia, because Han died, so she's taking Han's place. So she still becomes.
That's the thing.
Okay.
She was a senator,
she was
not a general.
Exactly.
And now she's taking the place as general because her husband had died.
I don't know. She might not even. She might have been the chancellor or whatever.
Yeah, it can be that.
Because she was the big war hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they find where Luke is.
Right.
And
Finn,
Rey and Finn go to find
Finn and Finn.
Finn and Finn.
And is Chewie going with them too?
Yes.
Okay.
So
they all.
Chewie's essentially teaching Rey, if she needs to, how to fly the Falcon.
Along with R2-D2.
Well, yeah, he has the map.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
got the map. And BB-8's also good. No, I'm just
BB-8's
kidding. BB-8 needs to stay with Poe.
Yeah, BB-8 is Poe.
That's his droid.
Yeah.
So they take the Falcon.
They take the Falcon, and they land on Octu and Ireland.
In Ireland.
And she gives the lightsaber to, because I do like the ending with her giving the lightsaber to Luke, and then it ends there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can tell the Falcon lands, but Han doesn't come out, so he knows immediately.
we did say, because this is gonna go into a theory, but you do see Luke kind of see the Falcon and kind of touch his chest to kind of
because he senses something.
Yeah, it's to symbolize that he feels something familiar. And he is confused when he does see Han not exit the ship. He sees Chewie, he doesn't see Han, and he's confused.
He doesn't recognize who
the two new people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they approach him, and then Rey hands him the lightsaber, and it ends.
Me raging in the theaters. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Actually,
Turn off the light, you
it doesn't.
fucking moron.
It doesn't end with the Star Wars theme. It ends with a much more somber song.
thing. Yeah.
Because fucking Han's dead.
No.
Yeah.
What?
No. The second movie's supposed to be the darker movie.
That's true. If we're following the tones of the movies, yeah.
That's also why Last Jedi is in red and not yellow.
Huh.
Anyways, speaking of Last Jedi, let's go to my 4 pages of notes.
Let's do this.
Which are in order, I think.
We're already at 48 minutes, close to 49 minutes.
Cool. What
We're going
time
into
is it
2
though?
hours.
What time is it though?
5:30.
That's
We got
fine.
plenty of
Yeah,
time.
that's fine. We're fine.
Anyways.
So this episode might go a little long. We haven't even touched our ideas for episode 9 yet. It's because we're going in order.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't to be honest, because this is retroactively better written. We kind of don't have to do something that didn't come out yet.
It's true.
Yeah.
I just
I
like
mean,
our.
We're gonna talk about
we
our
can
ideas.
comb over major ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such as the return of Lando and
Yeah.
other things that you have to stay
Billy
tuned
Ray
for.
Harris.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I almost said
so
Billy
we
Ray
open
Cyrus.
on how Star Wars Episode 8 actually opens. But we decided that this is not the last of the Resistance. This is just it's a faction of the Resistance that they cannot afford to lose.
Yeah.
We decided that we do like Poe's banter at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And like the bombing scene and all that shit. Charles
I-
convinced
so
himself
when I-
that it takes place in the upper atmosphere.
That's why there's gravity. That's why
You can
That's
breathe.
why. Yeah. I'm like.
ever so faintly.
I'm just like. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, this is bullshit. How are the bombs falling? They're in space. But then I saw the planet. I'm like, okay, they're just in the upper atmosphere. That's how they can. That's
But
how
can a Dreadnought be in the upper atmosphere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You're just gonna say that and then someone comments, no it fucking can't, it's too big.
It's
Anyways.
in the upper atmosphere.
It's in the most uppest.
It's in the uppest of the uppest of atmospheres.
Anyways. And then we said that, like, because we noticed that the fucking fighters for the Resistance are kind of just getting their ass kicked. They're kind of standing still.
They don't have near enough of a fighter screen.
We'll say that the
between-
fighters and the T-Wings, TIE fighters and the X-Wings
Yes.
are, like, equal. Like, it's a legitimate dogfight. Like,
Yeah, this isn't
the Order and the Resistance are losing just as much as each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because the Order might not. It's not percentage-wise. It's not the same, but like between these two fleets, it's the same.
And as we established, Finn did not get knocked out in the fight with Kylo Ren. He's with Rey. So
Finn's not even there right now,
yeah.
but Poe is.
So that'll equal it. Under more survivors, I have Snork written. Because when we were talking, you said Snork instead of Snoke.
Commander Snork.
I misspoke as
I like to
Snork.
imagine
He's no
Hux calls him Snork on accident, and that's why he throws him into the control room.
no Snork is his the
It's-
failed clone. He's like how Char.
No, we haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah, we're not there
It's
yet.
not relevant yet.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
not relevant yet.
He's like a fail.
Anyways.
Get ahead of yourself.
I know, sir. I'm sorry.
We're yelling into the mic now.
Yeah, we are.
Not this scene.
Zero
Oh!
hugs.
I have to remove that. So a lot of people did kind of hate Luke just throwing away Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah, at first we thought we should get rid of
Yeah,
it.
that's
but
why I
then,
have not this scene written.
But
We fixed it.
Yes, we fixed it.
yeah,
And we'll get to that when we get to that. But
So he still does throw the lightsaber, but we'll get to why.
yeah, that Porg scene though, because it was supposed to be a deleted scene. The one where the Porg looks into the barrel of the lightsaber and like one of them presses the button and it kills the Porg. I kind of do want to keep that in.
What?
Wait, that
That's
happens?
the thing?
It's a
There's a drawing
there's
of
a
it.
drawing of it.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So we're keeping it in.
We're putting that
And then
in.
immediately the other Porg panics and just stomps on it again and turns it off.
But it's too late.
Yeah, the other one's dead.
You killed your friend, buddy. How's it feel?
How's it feel?
When Rey comes in, knocking on Luke's door,
Jesus Christ.
they instead of Luke being like "fuck you, no resistance," she's gonna be like, Leia needs you, and then we'll see like Luke is kind of conflicted about it, and then Chewie knocks the fucking door off, and he's like, "Chewie, what are you doing here?" And then he goes, "Wait a minute, where's Han?" And then they kind of like, did she say Han died or like?
No, I think he
Did
got
he
that
figure
from
it out?
Chewie. I think Chewie might have said it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's when fucking Chewie busted down. I was like, Han is dead, but in Wookiee.
In Wookiee.
Yeah.
And,
No,
and-
he knocks it down and he says, "Chewie, what are you doing here?"
And then
Wait, where's
Chewie-
Han? And then I guess Chewie growls and then whatever. Then that's when Luke is certain he's going to return back to the Resistance, but he says, "Not yet."
I feel like, can I put something? I feel like if Luke heard that Han was dead, he would, I guess, maybe would feel like some anger in the Force, like something.
I feel like he's too tranquil for that shit
He's
right
gotten
now.
so collected.
How about it
and
zooms
so-
in, like not zooms in, but it shows a shot of his like
His
metal
hand,
hand
yeah, like
gripping
making a
tightly,
fist.
and you can like see it shake and everything, and then he just lets it go, and he accepts it and says, "I will return to the Resistance, but I have to deal with matters here first." And then Rey kind of questions like, what is there here? It's empty. I haven't seen a single thing that isn't screaming at me and kind of flying. And then he goes,
What is Finn doing?
Yeah, what is Finn? We never really talked about that.
Finn's just kind of there with her.
yeah,
Like,
we'll
trying to
say
convince-
Finn, or no, Finn tells him Han died.
Okay, yeah, that gives Finn something. And, like, but Chewie still knocks down the door.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like 3 of those and they keep falling.
You okay, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from it being a little toasty in here.
It is. It's the thermostat.
Snoke is a Palpatine clone.
Yes.
That's what I have written next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I guess he would just mention it. Or, yeah, because in that whole thing where he's saying that he's no Vader,
yeah.
he'll be like, he'll say something along the lines of, I'm the last remains of Palpatine. And then he says, I am of Palpatine, but you are not of Vader.
Ooh,
Even though he totally is.
Yeah. I mean, he
He's
is,
more-
he is biologically related to Vader.
But if he's a cloak.
If Snork is a clone.
And
Cloak.
so we did kind of question how we were supposed to treat. So I wanted to involve Darth Vader's lightsaber somehow, and I found something called Star Wars Aftermath, where a junker finds, you know, the saber in a pile of fucking
Space debris.
And these people called the Acolytes of the Beyond find it, and then we will say that the Acolytes of the Beyond were the people that Snoke were with when, you know, before he put together the Order, and he bought the lightsaber from the junker.
Right. Well, I like it more if he killed the junker for the lightsaber.
It's whatever. We can't show that. Like that's
background.
That's a scene that would be explained.
Oh, okay.
And so knowing Snoke, you kind of imply. And so he would say it would be heavily alluded to also that the Praetorian Guards for Snoke are
The Knights of Ren.
the Knights of Ren. Cut of... Yeah, so, and because of his insolence, Snoke restricts Kylo Ren from his training, which was the way he was able to blow off steam,
Yeah.
and that's why you have the helmet smashing scene. And from that...
But not in the elevator, in his chambers.
Yeah, in his chambers, and,
He barely manages to hold it together.
because we
It's like-
said in Force Awakens it's established that Phasma is loyal to Kylo Ren, not necessarily the Order. Her whole habit is she will never take off her helmet in front of Kylo Ren. So when she sees that Kylo Ren has destroyed his helmet, she damages hers herself to resemble Kylo Ren, but still wears it
Yeah.
to like
we see
in
a
front.
broken piece of it.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
some shattered pieces of it. Some damage. And Kylo Ren will say something about like, oh, did you get damaged in battle? And she'll be like, no, I saw you damage your helmet, so in... What's it called when you do something?
Reverence.
Yeah, in reverence. I, too, damaged my helmet. I cut that out.
What?
I already explained that. Luke keeps Anakin saber. He doesn't...
Well, no, because we didn't explain, like, because he does throw it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not to the point
not that-
where
Oh,
that
we're not there
point's
yet? Okay,
resolved
my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
And then, like...
When Rey finds the sacred Jedi texts,
The secret text! The secret texts!
Luke comes in and he explains the reason why he was on Ahch-To, and instead of cutting himself off from the Force,
He wanted to not become one with the Force, like he wanted
He
to
wanted
die.
to,
He
to
went- he-
reconcile for his wrongs.
yes, so he saw that his nephew had chosen the path of the Jedi, but had thrown it away to kind of be a Sith Lord in his eyes, to be another Vader, and he wanted to do research into the Jedi history as if that had been done
On
before.
redeeming.
And he had found... This kind of feels like a cop-out, but whatever. Now that I think about it, he finds writings of a man called Revan, who had gone from the light to the dark similarly. And he's like, that's all I can find. I need to find somebody who has gone from the dark to the light. Wait.
Okay.
and then he asks Rey who she is. Who she is to walk on Octu, to demand that he goes back. Like, he is going to go back to the Resistance, but he's, like, curious and why he has, like, some sort of feeling to her. And she just goes, I'm Rey. I don't know. My parents dropped me off on Jakku, and I don't know who I am. And he goes, okay, I will see to your training and yours. And he points to Finn.
Because didn't he also find Mace Windu in the texts? Because Mace Windu was it? Are we not there yet?
No.
Okay.
That's what Brett was going to ask, too.
Oh, really?
No.
You were going to ask about the other guy.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get to them.
Don't worry, guys.
Wait, no.
My bad.
No, the Dark to Light man.
Wasn't that...
Yes.
Anyways.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, we're doing him instead of...
We're doing both.
Oh, okay.
My bad. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
You did. But you didn't completely jump the gun. You just cocked it as you jumped. Because it hasn't fired yet.
Okay.
Luke does explain, though, that he feels personally at fault for failing Kylo Ren, and that's why he's atoning for it by looking into Revan, because he thinks if he can find out if there's a reverse to what Revan had done, that he can make Kylo Ren that exception too. Rose is not written out of the story. Her sister still does that thing. We just, instead of some background person, she is a pilot in training who works under Poe.
I was thinking she was Poe's mechanic, and Poe is like, she wants to be a pilot, but she's like, she's a rookie.
We can go with that
With
too.
that.
Yeah.
Just no fucking stupid romance subplot that is meaningless.
At least not with Finn.
First page is over. Yeah, Finn only has 2 hands, not 3. In the attack against the Resistance, where that scene happens with Leia flying through space, instead of that,
that stupid fucking
Akbar sees that there are, fighters coming in this direction, and he doesn't. I'm not gonna be like, Akbar's a stud and just grabs Leia up and throws her. He throws her in an escape pod. No, he shoves her into an escape pod.
You have to survive.
Leia immediately puts in the.
No. Akbar does it. He's like,
okay, Akbar does it
because it's like, because he doesn't want Leia to say
What's
no.
the salt planet called?
Salty. Saltine.
Saltivo.
Oh, Crate.
Yeah.
Crate.
She goes for Crate because she knows that there's a secret base there, but she doesn't know what type of base. It's just in the records.
Well, no, because she just gets picked up by the rest of the fleet in the escape pod, and then she goes there.
I'm gonna stab you. She's already in an escape pod.
No, she gets the escape pod gets picked up by the fleet.
No direction.
Oh my god. Anyway, she gets sent to Crate.
Yeah, her getting on the planet first.
And then Holdo shows up in uniform because that was the part that pissed off Charles.
Yeah, everyone else was fucking in uniform, but this chick's just in an evening gown. What the fuck?
So Holdo is in an admiral uniform.
She's got like medals and shit.
Instead
She's
of
a decorated officer.
Instead of Poe going, is that Holdo from Battle whatever? They actually explained what she did in the battle.
She held off 3 Star Destroyers with 1 cruiser.
The Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what?
This is why she's so cool.
Like, you don't have to show it, but you have to explain to the audience why she's like Holdo from the Battle of blank. Like, you're supposed to explain what she did that. Poe does not suffer a demotion.
Holdo is.
He was under orders when he did what he did at the beginning of the movie.
He literally asked permission to go outside and shoot stuff, and she said yes. Leia gave him the okay.
Holdo is passive aggressive.
Yeah. But Holdo does believe it's a little interesting that they were able to track us through hyperspace.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
The hyperspace tracker.
Yes. She questions it, and she goes, this might have been an inside job, so I don't know who I can trust yet, so that's why I'm not spilling out my plans everywhere. To at least to Poe. We give him a different reason for mutiny later.
Oh, for the record, the reason Leia's not in charge is because she just she hit her head or something when she got pushed to the escape pod, and she's like just conked out.
Well, she's not on the ship anymore. How could she be on charge?
Oh, that's right.
In charge.
And they all think she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's never mind. Carry on.
She's
carry
just
on.
MIA. She's not KIA.
She's MIA.
She's MIA.
Action.
Jedi never know.
So then, I'm going to save this point for a little later. I wrote it a little too early, because someone told me the idea as we were watching the movie, and it doesn't fit into where we're doing it now. But Poe and Rose together devised the plan. Because if Poe is a commander, he probably would know about... the whole scene about them explaining how to shut down a ship to Poe seemed really dumb. because he can't be that high of a rank
And not know anything.
and not know how to like the inside of a carrying ship would work.
Yeah.
And like they kind of don't need Finn to like show them around Snoke's ship because they literally had a hologram show them through Snoke's ship
Yeah.
to where the thing they needed to like disengage was.
Yeah.
So
It'd be like, I'm bringing it back to episode 4, but like in episode 4, they needed an escort around the fucking Death Star as opposed to just knowing where the shield generator was.
yeah.
Because they had it mapped to the shield generator.
So the whole casino thing is between Poe and Rose.
The casino planet's changed.
Yeah, that's right.
We changed it to Nar Shaddaa.
But that's what I'm saying because I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And instead of the reaching out of the Force between Kylo Ren and Rey, I'm gonna change it to this. So cut Rey's part out of that. Ren is in the infirmary getting his like thing taken off for his scar, and instead Anakin's ghost showed up. That was the blob that was trying to show up in front of him and blinded him during his fight with Rey. Is the Force ghost of Anakin trying to dissuade him from becoming another Vader. Kylo Ren writes it off as
Like a hallucination or something?
well. I was gonna say he does talk to it because he at least knows that might be able to happen through the Force.
Right.
But he says, "You're not Vader.
Yeah.
You hold nothing over me. I don't care who you are. You died. Vader became what he became, and that's who I look up to. Vader, not you." And then Anakin leaves him, and that'll resolve later. Luke actually starts training Rey
And Finn.
and Finn. We will keep that scene where like she's reaching out to the Force. It's like, yeah, I can feel it. And he's like fucking with her like with the like giant blade of grass and then slaps her wrist.
I like to think that they're both like Finn and Rey are side by side. And he's got 2 little feathers.
And then he goes, "No, this is how the Force really works." And then they have the exchange. So she'll go like, "Light. What can you feel?" And Finn will be like, "Life," and she'll be like, "Death." And then, life or love, fear, peace, blah blah blah. Like it switches back and forth. And then we'll say that. Do you know who the first Sith Lord was?
First Sith Lord.
Nagasato.
Nagasato?
Yeah, I think.
Let me check.
Darth Nagasato?
No, it was just Nagasato.
Anyways,
Sato.
because it was a Force Nexus planet, Octu, we are going to say that the dark side of that is where he is buried.
No, we know where
It's,
he's buried. He's not buried there.
Oh my god.
Ajun Paul.
Oh, Ajunta Paul, yeah.
Do you know where he's born?
Yeah.
Where he's buried?
Yeah, he's in KOTOR.
Okay, then it's Darth Plagueis the Wise.
No, you said he's in KOTOR, not where he's buried.
No, he's buried. You go to where he's buried in KOTOR.
He's buried in Korriban.
Yeah.
Do you know where Darth Bane is buried?
No, I don't think we do.
Okay.
Darth Bane is buried.
Darth Bane is there.
Look it up, just to make sure.
Anyways.
Because we don't want to be inconsistent.
Someone that's a very...
A very
A powerful
Darth,
Sith
yes.
Lord
Yeah.
is buried there, and that's what's calling her to the dark side. The dark side of the island. Jesus.
Jesus.
And then in that
Jesus,
scene,
Mary, Mother, and
the
Joseph.
scene where it's raining and Rey and Kylo Ren connect again. Instead, Rey is talking to the ghost of Anakin because he's like, whatever, it's not going to work for Ren. I'm going to go to Rey. But I'm not going to completely leave Ren. Instead, I will form my Force ghost to resemble Darth Vader, who I once was, to discourage him from that. And instead, Darth Vader will appear to Kylo Ren as if like, oh, you needed to speak to me. And then
Morroban.
Morroban?
Yeah.
That's where...
Yeah.
Whatever. Some Sith Lord.
Someone...
General
very important.
Grievous. No, I'm kidding.
General
Well-
Grievous?
General Grievous?
No.
We'll figure it out.
I know he's not a Sith Lord. I was just fucking.
Count Dooku's buried there. How about that?
No, it's too recent.
It's too recent.
We'll figure it out.
Anyways.
Palpatine's buried there.
Stop.
Palpatine's behind it all.
Stop.
Jar Jar.
Shut up. Anakin's talking to Rey, and the way it's shot is Kylo Ren is looking at Vader forward, and then it'll shift to Anakin looking to Rey, and they're talking, and then Anakin is convincing that Rey needs to be able to bring Kylo Ren back to the light, and he is using the example of if a powerful being from the dark side arises, then an equally as powerful being from the light will arise. So that's Rey comparing herself, or that's Rey to be compared to Ren. And Vader is calling, to oppose that, Vader is calling Ren weak, and that he can never live up to it. Just like the Order can never live up to the Empire, Kylo Ren will never be a Sith Lord like Darth Vader. And Anakin will even like kind of imply that as a Force ghost, he has knowledge of like the goings-ons of the universe, and he'll be like, just like Snoke is not a true Palpatine, to be like the failed clone. And he's like, the sooner you can see that, the sooner you can set yourself free and then grow in true strength. That gets ruined. So they're on. So Poe and Rose are on Nar Shaddaa, which is like a prison planet.
No, it's just like a seedy fucking.
Is it like another Tatooine?
It's basically a planet-wide Mos Eisley.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
That's what I meant.
But it's not desert. It's
more. It's like an underbelly city, but there's.
It's like if Coruscant was just the fucking
evil
undercity.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just gangsters and fucking
gangsters, ex-soldiers,
and you can still have a casino. Just it's like
a very seedy.
It's a seedy gambling den.
And I'll even say they're not looking for some dude with a white coat and a red flower on it. They're actually looking for DJ.
Yeah. They're looking for a fucking hacker.
Yeah.
Hacker man.
Hacker man.
And as they go through their story, avoiding, they get into some problems with some gangsters, and DJ saves them.
They cut off a guy's arm.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
And then it cuts back to, well, I'll actually have it so it's Rey's training with the droid thing, or Finn's training with it first, and he's kind of like
the little remote droid. For those of you listening, the little remote, the ball thing.
The thing that Finn that Obi-Wan had Luke train with in Episode 4.
It's called a remote.
And he's kind of getting his ass kicked by it. And then he's like, you know what? Luke goes in and is like, I want Rey to try now. And Rey, starts trying to block it, and then she gets frustrated and like swings at it, and it breaks the rock, and that way that rock can still fall and screw with those like those little monsters,
the little fucking gremlins,
yeah,
the little caretakers.
But the point is, Luke is actually sitting there training.
He's trying to train them. He's not trying to be like, you don't want to do this. He's like, all right, I can see nothing's gonna.
And he's not an asshole.
Yeah, he'll even be like, here, and he gives them like the younglings had like fake lightsabers. Yeah, he gives them the practice lightsabers, and he goes like, I think the best way is to like you guys to spar with each other, and I can see what form you fall under better. Like he's like, I did this with Kylo Ren, and then he pauses for a second, like kind of has like a little bit of a.
He doesn't even say Kylo Ren; he just says Ben.
Yeah, he says like with Ben.
And he has a flashback.
Anyways.
PTSD episode.
Yeah.
Where was I? And then they're like, oh, your teacher's about the forms, right?
Form 1.
Yeah, he's like, so just start swinging at each other, and I'll give you pointers, and then like not like a. Yeah, I guess like a montage, but it's not like montage. It's like very peaceful, like, and then you're gonna swing like that. Like he's actually teaching them.
You don't even hear him talking. You just hear like this fucking beautiful musical score,
and you see him like okay, stop. Like you see him like stop them and then like move them to like how they're supposed to be swinging.
How they're training with the Force.
And then he like overlooks their meditation and all that. And then he even explains like the old Order of the Republic, the Jedi Council were blinded because they felt that they were
above this shit.
Yeah, and then they totally missed the fact that the Sith were still reigning, and they got taken from like a place they didn't realize. And that he wanted to reestablish a new order, but because he had failed Kylo Ren, he felt that he was not personally ready. And while, Rey and Finn, they're in their stone hut, and they're reflecting over like what Luke is teaching them and everything, and how he's been talking about, you know, Ben, Kylo Ren, and how he felt like Luke will say something like he had to try and stop Ren.
Right.
And they kind of deduce that the only time Luke would have been able to try and stop Ren is when he was a kid. And then they kind of go like, did Master Luke try to kill a child?
Just the way he said, did you try to kill a child?
Anyways, and
sorry, I don't know why that's funny to me. It just is.
Child murder.
Luke.
God, that got dark.
So that Kylo Ren and Rey reach out through the Force thing, it becomes Luke and Leia reaching out through the Force thing, and then Luke goes like, "Where are you?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm on Crate." And then Luke's like, "I don't know where that is." And then she goes like, "Oh, it's in this sector," and
In this system.
yeah, and then he's like, "It's the Salt Planet," and then he goes like,
Oh, the salt planet.
"No,"
What did you
and
say
he goes
so?
like, he goes, "I think if I'm close enough to you, I'll be able to sense you." And then she's like, "Well, my fleet's coming this way, so just meet up with my fleet." And then he goes like, "Don't worry, I will support the Resistance." And then he'll say something about sorry about Han, and then she'll say he was just trying to bring my son back. It's okay. And then shortly after that, because he's thinking about Han and Leia, his mind begins to drift back to Kylo Ren, and then he sees an image of Kylo Ren in his armor, his new armor and everything, the way he is with the First Order or the Order, and then he sees an image of him putting on his helmet, and it reminds him of Vader.
Just it flashes Vader's helmet.
And then that's when like
quick.
lightning strikes and it's raining on Noctu, and that snaps him out of it. And he goes in to check on, you know, Finn and Rey.
And they're touching tips.
No, stop
Wait, Finn and Rey? Finn and Rey are
They're
touching
touching tips.
Like fingertips?
Tips of the lightsaber.
Oh.
I didn't explain how the lightsaber thing is
Oh,
resolved.
yeah.
So
We almost forgot about that.
When they first get there and Luke throws the lightsaber.
yes, but when he says we're gonna train with the training droid, Rey goes, okay, well, what do we train with, a lightsaber? And he goes like, yes. And he's like, oh, we're gonna train with your. Finn goes like, are we gonna train with your lightsaber? And he's like, no, you're gonna train with the one you brought. And then Finn's like, you threw that over the cliff. And then he's just like, yeah.
You
It's
gonna go get
still there. And then they look over the ledge.
And that's when the porg blasts the other porg's face
Yes.
off.
And then they're like, how are we supposed to get that? And then like he goes,
Because Rey still says the bit where it's like it's
Yeah.
about controlling people and moving rocks.
And he goes like, well, you thought it was about moving rocks, so move the lightsaber up to you. And then he goes like, come on, that's not cool. And then Rey like actually does it. And then he goes like,
Okay, that's
and then
pretty cool.
and then Luke's like, all right, now drop it back so Finn can do it.
Because they've only got the one.
And then Finn's like, what? And then he's just like, no, I'm just kidding. Let's go train.
Because they've only got the one.
I am the one.
Anyways, cutting back forward to like the rain scene and him going to check on Rey and Finn. Rey starts screaming at Luke, sort of like, so like at the drop of the hat, when we start showing dark side tendencies, are you gonna try and stop us to avoid another Vader? And he's like, no, you're misconstruing what happened. And then they sort of have like, she grabs her stick and then Luke like forces the antenna back or to his hand. And
That whole part.
yeah,
is
and she
still
tries to fight Luke, and Finn's just like what
the
fuck
fuck
is
is
happening?
going on?
And Luke kind of like is very calm while she's kind of screaming, trying to hit him, and he like
It's like Luke versus Darth Vader.
he doesn't even hit her with the antenna. He
Yeah.
just tricks her into falling on her own ass.
Where she's just flailing.
And then he
like
goes-
sidesteps.
He goes, "That's what anger gets you. The sooner I can teach you about this." I'm sorry, the noise freaked me out. The sooner I can teach you this, the better I can rest about you not becoming Vader. Don't get angry over something you might think will happen, or something philosophical. I'm kind of.
We're not philosophers.
I'm shooting from the hip here a lot of the time. And then Luke revealed. No, not that yet, fucker.
Okay, sorry.
Luke reveals his plan to bring back Kylo Ren to the Force because he mentions that he had done some reading while they were meditating.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll show that like while they were training, he had a book in his hand every
Right.
so often,
Yeah.
while overlooking his meditation, he was reading, and he looked and saw that there was one Force-sensitive person named Galen Merrick, who was once the apprentice of Darth Vader before Luke's time, and had.
I'm thinking it's not from the Jedi text. It's from a Sith holocron.
Maybe
because Luke he's kind of a gray Jedi at this point. He's not like he's like you gotta have balance. You gotta.
Or maybe he found like a textbook about him, like in one of Darth Vader's.
Or just he found a record of Galen Merrick and what happened.
And he'll mention that he was one of the first people, or one of the only people he can find to go from the dark side to the light, and he knows it's possible. And then he mentions, a Jedi Master, Mace Windu, who had constantly teetered between light and dark, and comes to the philosophy that the light can't hold anyone forever, and neither can the dark side.
Right. You gotta have lights and darks in your life.
You gotta balance.
So he quickly tells Rey and Finn to get some sleep, for they're going to board the Falcon and meet with the Resistance tomorrow. And so Luke ventures back to the tree library.
The Triberry.
The Triberry. And he puts the last book in, and then he just leaves. And he's met with Anakin's Force Ghost. And he tells him to move forward. And then Luke's kind of confused, but this isn't new to him. Yeah. He approaches his father's
He's seen
ghost.
Force Ghost, he just hasn't seen Anakin's yet. Oh wait, no, he saw Anakin.
He saw it at the end
Andor.
of 6.
Yeah, my bad.
And
It's
so
been
he
a while
goes,
since he's seen
yeah.
it,
It's been a
so
while.
He goes, "Father, what did you want to tell me?" He's like, "It's not what I wanted to tell you, it's what we wanted to tell you." And then around Luke, other Force Ghosts begin manifesting. Mainly the Jedi Council, or a new type of Jedi Council, an undead Jedi Council.
Oh my god.
Mainly built of Mace Windu. We keep bringing back a lot of old characters, but I mean, that's
just all of them.
Our main point of the trilogy is using the past to build a better future.
Yeah.
So Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan. It can even be Sir Ian McGregor, Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, bitches.
And we'll even say Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Because
he's like he's the OG Force Ghost.
Yeah.
He taught Yoda how to do it.
He was one of the first people to be powerful enough to do so.
Would you also consider him a great Jedi?
Yeah, he was venturing into great Jedi territory. Because he didn't fully believe in what the Order was doing on Coruscant with the Grand Army. I remember that video.
Yeah.
That's why he was never in meetings. He was just on his own. And it's
not even really a council, it's just all these Jedi Masters are here.
And then
Jedi Masters.
And then Anakin says something along the lines of, whatever any of those texts will tell you, it is possible to bring someone from the dark to the light. You have done that with me before I died. At my very last seconds, I destroyed the Sith because I was the last Sith alive, and I had renounced my Sith life and became Anakin once more. You can do this. You can bring back Ben. And he goes, nothing in those books will teach you. It is how you feel the Force. And then Luke will be like, but...
the Sacred Jedi texts!
Yeah. And he goes were you really reading them or were you skimming me? Or
Skimming.
You're ruining my moment, brain!
Come on, you're my kid. I know you didn't read those.
If you were anything like I was, you did not read those books. You skimmed them.
And
then Luke kind of goes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then
Yoda does the lightning thing.
No.
It's
Anakin.
Okay.
He looks to Yoda, and Yoda just nods.
Or all the Jedi Masters.
He destroys it.
Or all of the Jedi Masters.
And he goes, the Sacred Jedi text.
The Sacred Jedi text.
No, because I want to still establish how powerful Anakin was.
Okay.
To kind of be Luke can be as powerful, and Ren and Rey.
We never talked about the thing in the hole.
Oh yeah, well that's just the two shadows who approached Rey and then became one. One was supposed to resemble Vader, and the other one was supposed to resemble Anakin. And then when they became one shadow, it was to show that they were one person all along. And then when it eats away and shows Rey's reflection, it was supposed to say that you are the reincarnation of Anakin, and that is why she has a connection to Anakin. Why Anakin's Force Ghost can appear to her.
Why his lightsaber made her fucking see shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though she's not she might not be directly descendant of Skywalker.
Yeah, she's not a Skywalker, but she is a reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker.
Which
what?
if she's a reincarnation of Anakin, would Anakin's Force Ghost still exist?
Because it would be Anakin himself.
Yeah.
It would be it would be the Force side of Anakin transferring to another being.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's a little weird to explain.
It's a little mystical.
His midichlorians transferred to her.
Okay, George Lucas. And anyways, the whole point of the council is to say that Luke is carrying on their will, and that they formally make Anakin a full-fledged Jedi Knight and Grandmaster, and that his order will be birthed from the remains of them, creating a future from the past.
Where are we at?
Mace Windu references Finn.
Yeah.
And says that his training is important as well. And then I wrote down Tunfa saber.
Tonfa
It's
lightsaber.
a saber to reflect the shock baton he's been using. Anakin destroys. Poe learns about the Resistance getting help from corruption. So essentially that whole scene when DJ clicks through that computer on the ship they stole and shows, oh yeah, these guys were profiting from the First Order. And it shows like
TIE
fighters and all that.
The new AT-ATs.
And then he clicks on the
X-Wing.
last one and it's an X-Wing. It's like, oh, so is the Resistance. And this pisses Poe off. So much so that when he meets with them back on the ship, he begins accusing Holdo of being a traitor. She knew of the corruption and she had done nothing, and they had been profiting off of corruption. And then he stages his mutiny so he can say, with General Leia MIA and Holdo being a traitor, I have to take command. And I have to stop this corruption from the inside. Even though Holdo says you're not going to stop it over some mutiny. You're going to stop it by going through the ranks. This doesn't dissuade him. So the morning of, Luke, Rey, and Finn board the Millennium Falcon. But just before, Luke rises his X-Wing out of the ocean. And he kind of pulls a case out of it by focusing the Force, and in that case is his green lightsaber. And he tells
he had, put it away.
He hid it from himself. He tells Rey to hold on to the other one.
And Finn feels left out because he's still just got the shock baton.
Don't worry.
He doesn't have his lightsaber yet.
It'll flow later.
Just the way he said.
They meet up. They take the Falcon and meet up with the
cruiser.
Resistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on their way, Rey tells Luke that Anakin had told her to try and change Kylo before, like, Luke's attempt. And so he says, "Okay, I trust you." And Anakin's ghost shows up to say that he will make sure she does fine. So she gets sent to fucking Snoke's thing. Snoke's ship. The Snokinator.
Snork.
Snork.
Snorker.
Snorkel.
And I think the only thing I changed up to a point was instead of lifting Rey, he's using
Shocking.
Force lightning
Yes.
to get her to talk.
Because that was a really good scene. It was like the way he's making like he's gonna kill Rey, so that Snoke doesn't notice that he's actually getting ready to.
Yeah.
He masks his...
Luke meets up on the Resistance ship, and he sees that Holdo is being held, and he kind of recognizes Holdo from Leia, from stuff Leia shared
Well,
with
because
him.
Luke was a general for a time.
Yeah, and he goes, "What's going on here?" And he's like, "Oh, there's some sort of mutiny." And then Luke kind of Jedi mind tricks the mutineers to be like,
You got it.
"You guys need to trust Holdo." And they're like, "We need to trust Holdo." And then he goes like, "So, was this all of them?" And then they're like, "No, the Poe is in the ship." And then he goes like,
He's on the bridge.
Yeah, he's like, "By himself?" And then he goes like, "Yes." It's like, this kid has some balls. And he's like, "Give me your gun." And like, he takes a gun from a random person. And then like,
The guy with the gun shaking.
instead of like a machine to destroy the door, Luke just force pushes it open.
Force pushes it.
And I kind of want him to force push it onto C-3PO, but no. It doesn't like throw C-3PO at a wall. It like he gets out of the way and goes like, "Almost hit you there." And he goes like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm I'm General Skywalker." And then he goes like, And he's like, "Are you Commander Poe Dameron?" And he goes like, "Yes." And he goes, and like
stuns him.
He stuns Poe Dameron because Luke knows how to use a gun.
That's what he used before his fucking lightsaber.
And then like the Carrie Fisher's daughter's character like looks at him like kind of scared and he goes like, "What?"
What do you want?
Mutiny over.
They all die. The end.
And then Holdo meets back up with Luke and discusses her plan. Or she's like, "I have a plan," and then it transitions to Rey and Ren, and Ren just like says stop, and then like Snoke does stop, and he goes like, "Allow me to redeem myself by executing her myself." And then she's giving his speech while Ren turns the lightsaber and activates it to kill Snoke, and then Rey pulls the lightsaber back, and then they get in a fight with the Praetorian Guard. But right before they do, they say, "You have betrayed Snoke and the Order." And he goes, "No, Knights, you have betrayed me." And then the
That's
fight
why he
starts.
starts fighting him.
Yeah.
And there's no editing error.
No,
there's no editing
There's
error.
no weird editing error with the dual-wielding
Because-
person suddenly not having
having
both their
yeah.
weapons to stab Rey.
And because Rey's just not in that position to begin with.
Yeah. And while they're fighting, Kylo Ren does mention offhand that he's recognizing Rey's fighting style and has said, "You have seen Luke Skywalker." And then they have the whole argument. Instead of like let go of the past and all of that, he offers his hand to. He's like, "Those were my old knights. I would like to rebuild the Knights of Ren," and then,
Join me.
yeah,
I want
join
you to
me.
be the first.
Yeah,
The first night of Ren.
that's what it is.
Right.
He wants her to be the
I'm
first.
trying to think of how she gets out of it.
She just...
A ship shoots that
no,
area.
She cuts off his hand.
Yeah.
That's how he get his hand cut off. No, because
Luke's
Luke's got to do it.
We're ruining it before we get to it.
I'm sorry!
Anyways, I would say she just like surprise force pushes him away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then runs off.
Yeah, she like extends her hand
Just-
and then just like, no!
When you... So this one you need to edit, and then when I spoil something, just beep it.
No.
They're actually
Spoil
She
something
knows
in our
force
not... like...
In our fucking
Huh?
non-canon
She knows force
Yeah,
fanfic.
she knows force speed.
Yeah.
Like, because she's lived on Jakku, she's probably been chased before. She's like,
Yeah.
run faster, and she just jolts.
She doesn't know she's using force speed, but she's just...
I can just
Yeah,
run
she's
fast.
doing it.
She's like, I'm a fast motherfucker.
10-foot vertical leap.
Or we can... or we can just say she has a gun on her and just whips it out.
oh shit.
Like a little small pistol.
Yeah, the one that Han gave her.
And then
Aw.
she jets.
No, Chewie would have taken that back.
No.
Oh, no, it was a different pistol. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's what
Han's
I-
pistol.
Yeah.
And then she jets. And
Chewie
then
has that.
Yeah.
Steals an escape pod.
No.
It fell with him into
Yeah,
the
it
pit.
fell with him.
Rose and DJ infiltrate and Rose and DJ infiltrate. And so DJ does betray them, but before. So then the First Order begins shooting on
On the transports.
the transports, and then right before DJ is able to walk away with his money, Phasma shoots him. Hux gets mad, and Phasma points her gun at Hux and says, "I don't serve you, I serve Kylo Ren. These men don't serve you, or don't respect you, they respect Kylo Ren." And then, they hear the explosion from the Emperor's room getting fucked up, or Snoke's room getting fucked up, and then Hux goes up there to see what that's about, and then the nail in the coffin that no one respects Hux is, he goes, "Our leader is dead," and then fucking Kylo Ren begins choking him out, and then that sends home that Hux has no authority, so he's just gonna go along with Kylo Ren. I skipped a whole page of notes.
Did you really?
Well, I mean, a good chunk of them. As like Kylo Ren gets up from being force pushed, as Rey runs away, he looks up and sees Anakin's ghost just turn away from him. kind of leaving him himself, doubting if he can be fixed or turned. Then it goes the escape pods make it to the crate. They make it to crate. Poe wakes up, and Luke tells him to come here.
Give me a big hug.
Give me a big hug, you.
Come here, you big lug.
Yeah, man, I just met. He goes.
Let's hug it out.
He goes. So you said you're General Skywalker? He's like, yes, General Organa's brother. Yeah. He goes like, you know what? You remind me a lot of myself when I was young. You know.
Now Poe's force
I
sensitive.
joined. Yeah. I joined the rebellion to be a big hero, and look what you're trying to do. It doesn't work out. And he goes like, what? And he's like, kid, I'm a general, and I can see it doesn't work out. Why do you think I stopped being a general?
The big
and
hero
wanted
thing
to be more of a
doesn't.
Jedi?
Oh, we forgot to mention, fucking Rey doesn't cry over Han's death because she didn't know who the fuck she was. Or who he
No,
was.
I would just imagine she gets angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just crying from anger. She's like, why did you kill him?
Leia did mention she had a personal code. This personal code sends a signal out to Lando Calrissian. She'll just say,
we forgot how she knows about this stuff.
not yet.
Okay.
That's just to tell Lando
What's
we need
going
help.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually gonna get to that. Leia is she hears a voice through the Force telling her, "You're go to somewhere where you can be in solitude, and keep everyone away from it." She by this time, everyone's met with her. So I'll say Luke they can both hear the call, and Luke and Leia both ask Poe to watch the door to make sure they're not disturbed. Anakin's ghost appears to them, and they talk about. He's like, "What happened to the
Grand Army of the Republic.
Yes.
And then Leia says, "Well, we disemboweled it because we
Well, because the original Grand Army was turned into the Imperial Army.
right because they were corrupted and killed the Jedi, and then they were stormtroopers and Anakin's. It was like, you don't need to tell me the history. Just why did you not think that was an option? You're running low on numbers." And then she'll say something like, "Oh, we don't even know if the old laboratory that makes them has, the genetic code of the Fets anymore." And then, Anakin says something like, "There's always some sort of answer. You're clearly ignoring avenues." And then Leia has a deep thought about it. And then Anakin kind of rises and goes, "I feel that he's coming. Ben has come home." So
Anakin's name is?
no, Luke.
Okay, because
He said Anakin.
Yeah, you said Anakin.
Luke said this. Fuck. Ruined my deep moment.
You ruined it yourself, buddy.
And then,
I love it, Sam.
It was a deep moment.
as they leave, everyone looks at Leia, and she goes, Don't look at me. Try and find a way out of here. We're gonna try and go hold him off for a bit."
We need to deal with
Family.
I need to be with my son, or
Yeah.
something like that.
And she hands Poe a code, and she goes, "If I fall, this code this order immediately goes into effect."
Yeah. You need to reestablish the Grand Army of the
Well,
Republic.
she doesn't say that directly.
doesn't
Come
say
on.
that. She doesn't
dude.
say that?
No.
No.
Oh, she
Just
says that.
wait.
In the recording.
God,
Be patient.
play
Charles.
this
Be patient.
recording on the Falcon when you leave.
Be
Seriously,
patient,
you need to
Charles.
beat my shit.
And then don't. It's fine.
It's fine.
You're not
just excited.
really spoiling
I'm
anything.
excited.
Because this is your favorite part.
Yeah.
Anyways, Luke goes out, and he tells Leia to stay behind for a bit. And she watches from the opening in the door, because that's what the opening they made. Oh yeah, we're also, that whole scene with them flying at the cannon. So that's going to change. Finn is going to try and sacrifice himself.
Right.
But a voice calls out to him. And he's no longer in his headspace where he sees, Crate. He's in a different type of headspace. It's like a transcendental headspace.
It's like he's kind of floating in the void.
And he meets himself. He doesn't meet himself. He meets a figure that is unrecognizable to him, but it's recognizable to the viewer.
Right.
It's Mace Windu.
Yeah, it's totally Mace Windu.
And
Hey, yo, Black Jedi.
oh my god,
Dude, what the fuck?
What?
This is a deep moment.
beep that out then.
I'm sorry. It's
I'll
just,
help.
It's just that conversation.
We also have to add Samuel L. Jackson, dude. because I'm putting such an importance on Mace Windu.
That's fine.
So
You're saying that like it's a problem.
I know.
Sam Jackson
So that
did
was
not
a
want
bad
to.
thing.
he kind of goes, "What do you think you're doing?" And then he goes, "I'm
gotta save the
sacrificing
resistance."
myself for the resistance." And he echoes what Anakin had said. There's always another way. You are failing to see the other route you can take.
You've blinded yourself to the options.
And he's like, trust me, I have been blinded before too. And then he goes, save yourself today, my son, and you will
Live to
have
fight
your-
another day.
Yeah, fine. I was going to say have your chance to strike.
Oh, okay. That's better.
It's better.
Yeah.
Don't pull my mistake thinking that you have won before you know you've won. And then he snaps back into it and pulls out at the last second. No, Rose saves him for love.
And then having a
Fighting what we
stupid
hate
kid.
with love. No, he gets pulled out.
Bad scene.
That was
Poe
so
goes
bad.
out to like rescue him. So you have your gay moment.
Bro!
The gays win Star Wars.
The gays win.
The gay agenda's fucking taking our Star Wars.
Oh my god.
I have a feeling people are gonna be like, I like this version except for all the gay.
Except for all the gay.
And anyways, it saves them back and returns them home, or at least to the base. And I didn't mention the droid thing. Well, the droid thing is irrelevant right now.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
it's all right now.
So,
You even
Luke-
put a question mark.
yeah, Luke has this. He has his duel with Kylo Ren,
Mhm.
but Kylo Ren's not using his normal lightsaber. He's using the Darth Vader saber from what we mentioned before. I know you don't really like that idea, but I'm
Well,
just
no,
trying
it was like what you said. It's too sciencey, and also the whole mystical thing.
Yeah.
yeah. And he'll-
That one, like, that makes more sense.
It's
than
a relic.
finding-
It's a mystical fucking
It makes
item.
more sense to find the saber than it does to find the helmet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Luke takes the stance. Do you want to keep him that he took the stance Obi-Wan took, or do you want to keep him, or do you want it to have it he took like a stance he's been training in?
I like the Obi-Wan one because
Okay.
it reflects his past.
Yeah, it's like it's a mirror of the.
Yeah.
And then Kylo Ren, because you did say he was a fanboy, so clearly he'd have footage of the Vader
Yeah.
and Luke fight at the end of A New Hope, and they would clash sabers once more. And Luke would say something like, "This reminds me of old times. Too bad you weren't there," or something. And then he somehow gets around Kylo's. I'm doing like motions while I'm describing.
He's
this.
fucking. He's all over.
He
the
gets
place.
around his defense.
He's jumping
and
around and shit.
He fucking he disarms literally Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he cuts his
off
arm
his
off.
arm. What?
No, I was saying A because you
Oh
jumped
yeah.
the thing.
Oh.
I was being dumb.
He disarms. He cuts off Kylo Ren's arm, and he goes, "No matter how hard you try, tradition will always follow you.
Right. You're a Skywalker.
Now you're a
kid.
true Skywalker kid."
Damn.
And then he goes, or Kylo Ren is like, "You're right. Leia hasn't lost an arm yet." And he forces Vader's saber to like fly towards his mom, and he kills Leia.
Oh, so we're not doing the droid thing.
Not yet.
Okay.
So,
You're just like, everyone keeps fucking ruining my shit.
and so Leia,
Quit jumping the gun, guys.
like it pans to Leia and it shows that like the saber is in her, or at least it's gone through her.
Yeah.
It's depending on the force that Luke, fucking Kylo Ren threw the saber, and in her hand is a device,
Oh, okay.
and she presses on it, and then like the doors start to open and no one's in there except, what's the measurement I should say, company, battalion, a shit ton of fucking old
Battle
sep-
droids.
A
battle
battalion.
droids
Battalion, that's a lot.
start marching, because like
Battalion's
in my head it's not a bunch of AT-ATs and ships.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's
just the battle
so
droids.
certain that all he needs to do is send stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So it's just a clash of stormtroopers and battle droids.
For
and
the
like
fanboys.
and like Luke in the hole, because some of them are blasting at the ground, creating like salt dust and everything. Kylo Ren and Luke just leave.
Fuck off.
And Kylo Ren Luke runs to Leia to bring her inside and comfort her in her final hours. And that's the best way I can think of sending off Carrie Fisher.
Trying to get her boy home.
Yeah.
and not making a character in the third movie that like she's not.
Yeah.
She's not here.
Let her rest.
Yeah.
Let her spirit rest.
And Luke, Luke realized how everyone kind of like left the mine shaft, kind of like how they do in the movie.
There's one final fox that goes.
Yeah, and he follows them, and Rey can hone in on Luke's,
She's been around
force.
him so much.
Yeah, and see. No, it's Finn. My bad, Finn. Because Finn was with the group. Rey wasn't. Rey was still flying the Falcon.
Yeah.
And, that's how she knows where to like get rid of the rock so everyone can come out. Everyone is on the ship, and they're flying off. I just want to make sure that is the last notes. Oh no, fucking. Rewinding a bit to when they were coming in and the people were gonna come fucking. They were bringing the cannon.
Oh yeah.
Up to break it.
The battering ram cannon.
And
It's
just a ram cannon.
Yeah, or just call it a battering ram.
And C-3PO was telling him the odds, and I wanted fucking Poe to say, "Never tell me the odds." And then Kylo Ren, or why do I keep saying Kylo Ren? Fucking whatever. Poe plays Leia's final message, and it's how she says how proud she is of everyone who has held out their own during this time of,
Crisis.
Yes, thank you. And that her final order is to reestablish the Grand Army of the Republic. And she sends Rey, Poe, Finn, and Luke to Lando, who will help them contact the Mandalorians to see what they can do about the clones.
I thought it was she just tells someone to send a signal to Lando. And Lando
Well,
does it.
whatever.
But Lando knows to expect them.
Oh, okay.
Because the signal was sent, but like
So they meet him
Poe
on
doesn't
Mandalore.
know where to. Rey doesn't know where to. Poe and Rey don't know where to send the Falcon.
So they meet him on Mandalore.
Yeah. And as Chewie sits by himself, hearing Leia's voice, he hears one voice just in his head from Han. It's not Han contacting him, it's just him remembering Han. And it says, "I'll see you around, kid." And it zooms in to like Chewie's eye.
Yeah.
So it'll be like that's what he's thinking about, and it shows the title for Solo.
Actually, I thought about that, and didn't we say that like that doesn't work? Because like, how would Chewie remember the shit about Han before they met?
Han told him.
Fair enough. That's a
Like, let's
plot.
get to know each other, and Han
Yeah.
told him.
Here's the
Plot
hole.
twist resolved.
I'm gonna do something really fucking funny. Here's the hole. It's plugged.
Anyways, that's us rewriting fucking all that. Stuff we had in mind for episode 9 would be of great importance on Lando. I actually had the idea of... So, Mace Windu made a lightsaber before he was given a lightsaber, and that kind of disturbed the Jedi elders, I guess. And he left it on a planet called Huracan. Hurricane, whatever the fuck. I only saw it in writing, and it looked like Hurricane.
Oh, so he would have.
He would have told Finn to go to Hurricane and find his first lightsaber,
Which
instead
is
of
a
the saber
purple
he died
tonfa.
with. Probably. He made it himself, so it could be whatever.
And that's how you can keep the motif of Finn with the shock ball.
And then it would be there would be a time skip in the movie, so they would have time to
train a new Grand Army of the Republic.
Yeah, and for like them to actually
You show
make clones.
the Resistance fighting the
Order.
the Order.
Lando and Boba Fett would meet, and Boba Fett would be like, "I have no obligation to Han Solo.
Oh.
My rival has died."
Boba Fett is the leader of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Because of course he would be.
And he would essentially say, "I have no debt to Han Solo.
Yeah.
He was my rival, and he's dead. Everything's settled."
We don't know how I got out of the Sarlacc, but does it matter?
And then Lando
Sorry.
would mention that he's also Han's rival. And so he's like, wouldn't it be interesting if his two rivals grew their own rivalry? And then that's why they work together, to outdo each other.
He pulls a fucking nat 20 on his charisma check.
So
As Lando does.
So Lando
Of course.
and Boba both become generals, but Boba's section is purely like his own devised clones with like Mandalorian armor, and you got a lot of generals.
You got plenty of generals for a big army. It's a big army. You need generals.
Finn and Rey become commanders.
Yeah. And they're given the rank of Padawan, like formally Padawans.
Yeah.
And I'll say Anakin's Force, like Luke is just their legitimate teacher.
Yeah.
But teaching them the ways of the Force and how to be a proper Jedi, Anakin's Force Ghost is teaching Rey, and Mace Windu's is teaching Finn.
Ooh!
I like that.
You didn't tell me the Mace Windu part.
Yeah.
I love these parallels.
With just some hints of like, some point Yoda and Obi-Wan will intervene.
And Qui-Gon.
And Qui-Gon.
You gotta have.
If Liam Neeson wants to show up,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
If Liam Neeson's.
I think he would. He loves his.
Liam Neeson's not doing anything.
if he's not doing nothing.
So that's our version of this. We're going to at a lot of people when we post this.
A lot.
Man, we're gonna
Yeah.
get raging fanboys, but maybe some others.
I hope we don't get sued.
We won't.
We won't.
It's constructive content.
That's true. It's completely fair use.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like we're making money off of it.
Yeah.
I honestly just want to know what Mark Hamill would think
Yeah, I
about
really
it.
want to know what
Yeah.
Mark Hamill
Because
thinks
like the
about
biggest
our
thing was like,
revisions.
did you end it?
No.
Oh, because the biggest thing was he wanted people to make a movie that they would want to make, not something for fans, just something they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it would make him proud if he's heard it. He'd have to sit through a long ass podcast though.
Well, it's
It's
only like an
also-
hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd have to sit through like Last Jedi again.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Except this would be better.
Except instead of watching a movie, he's just listening to us babble.
He's just there like on a couch with like giant headphones, like,
Well, to be fair,
like that. I
it was a
like
lot of Sam. Like,
Well,
Sam- it was a
because
Sam
Sam was
time
the dude who
yeah,
was,
he was the one
taking
that-
notes
yeah.
and like
the one that got all of our ideas and made them.
he was the
understandable.
funnel through which our ideas
Our
flowed.
nonsense. Yeah.
I'm a writer.
He is.
I'm doing a comic right now.
Oh, you are.
All right. I think
Anyways.
At Octo788.
Stop it.
All right. Well,
I'm
Anyways.
posting your fucking Twitter. I'm doing it.
God damn it, fine. Anyways, this is better.
Retroactively better written.
Retroactively better. Hey, I also came up with that title. Retroactively better written. Signing up.
No.
Yeah, because it was something I said, wasn't it?
It was something I said.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I was explaining something, and then Charles said that'd be a good thing for a title, and you said, yeah, retroactively better written.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. It was a shared idea then.
Okay, well, we shared it. Yeah, I'll admit to we shared it. Anyways, we're signing off. See you in episode 2 or 7, deciding on what we want to do with this podcast. Okay, bye.